sorted, and we can do this.
Come on, y'all, let's do this. Here we go again.
Yes, indeed, we're bringing it here on the Radio Wammo Breakfast, bringing it with the game review, Game Junkie 2.0, Game Junkie blog at stuff.co.nz. Mr. Gerard Campbell is the man. Good morning to you, Gerard.
Morning to you. That was exciting, wasn't it?
That was exciting. Gears of War 3, we got a preview of it 2 weeks ago, Gerard, and now the embargo's just been lifted this morning, so we're very excited to talk about it. I'm reasonably new to the experience of Gears of War 3. Only this year have I played 1 and 2. But I'd imagine for you, Gerard, a bit of a return to an old favourite.
Yeah, it is. And to be quite honest, I probably prefer the Gears series a wee bit more to Halo. You know,
yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because the characterization, although they're pretty macho guys, it just seems to be more sort of engaging story for me. They're sort of they're human guys at the end of it. They're not sort of cybernetically organised, controlled soldiers sort of thing. So yeah, Gears of War 3, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it, especially after the hands-on we had a couple of weeks ago. Yes.
Now let's talk about specifically the hands-on. We got to play most of the first act. I'm not sure how many acts there will be, or chapters as they're called as well.
I think there's probably 5 or 6 probably. I'm thinking about probably 5. So I think because we sort of had about a 2.5 hour session, didn't we? So, I mean, if each act is sort of a similar time frame, you're sort of looking at a 10-hour sort of plus single-player campaign, which is pretty cool, something like that.
Now, if you're only coming in a Gears of War 3, of course, most of these games you can come in at any time, but you are sort of missing a certain amount of the plotline, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the Gears series is that a lot of people have said, they haven't really been big on the narrative, and they probably haven't. They've been the action first and foremost. And often the time, a lot of the characterization of characters sort of have been to the side.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the first Gears game. I thought it looked great. The second Gears game was enjoyable, but perhaps the story wasn't as good. As the first time, perhaps it was just more action, it was more full on, it was more, giant worms and those sorts of bits and pieces. But I think that the thing that I've gathered so far from the time we've had with the Gears of War 3 preview is that I think that the narrative is a lot stronger than the other games. And I think I'm really liking the development of some of the key characters, especially Augustus Coltrane, who I felt that in the hands-on that we had recently, that his character has really developed from a guy in Gears of War 2 who was sort of the let's kick some ass sort of thing character to there was some really nice, without spoiling anything for anybody, there are actually some nice moments that I felt in the preview that we had, especially near the end of the time. That sort of Cole sort of reminiscing about his past and his glory days, I guess. So I thought that was really good development for him.
Because we found out that that Cole, I guess we found out that in previous games that he was an old football player. And so we get a little bit more insight into that. But the narrative in Gears of War 3 is also interesting in that in Gears of War 1 and 2, you played the one. If you played single player, you played the one character, right? What's his name?
Yes, Marcus Phoenix.
You played Marcus Phoenix. But in the first act in Gears of War 3, halfway through the act, you start to see the narrative from a different point of view, from another character, and you jump into their shoes.
Yeah. Now, when I played the preview, I had 3 other people with me, so we played it cooperatively. So I was in charge of Beard, but so I don't know. You obviously, I assume, played it by yourself.
Yes.
So when you flicked to that second,
played as Cole.
That second sort of, but you were Cole. You were Cole. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's really good. I think that although, and look, and I'm going to say this, that I think if you're a hardcore Gears fan, you're going to have seen the E3 preview trailers. So you're going to know what's happening. You're going to know what's Epic has released sort of, with the battle with the Leviathan.
Yeah.
At the Raven's Nest or that sort of thing. So, they're going to know all that. So I think that what they've done with this first act, sort of almost giving it sort of a split take on, the same events is really good. And I think the fact that they've chosen Cole is perhaps an indication for me that perhaps he was underdeveloped and underutilized in Gears of War 2. And no, I think that's really I think it's really cool that he's developed more, and that it's a nice take on the same scene. I guess you could say. Yeah.
Now the thing I really like about the series, and even in particularly in Gears of War 3, is the epic nature of the action. So you take part in the combat sequences, and then in between you've got the cutscenes, and some of the cutscenes are just on a large scale, really massive beasts that are throwing stuff around, or bashing into a boat. Just on everything you feel, and all the sound effects that go with it, you feel like it's in a big world and big stuff is happening, and you're just a tiny person in the combat. You're having a massive influence on it, but still, the things happening around you are huge.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very epic, isn't it? It's very, as you said, you've got giant, huge, big monsters, and you feel like this little inconsequential little guy. And I think that because of course this time we've got some lambent locusts, which are the locust from the first two games, but they've been infected by the emulsion, which goes through the planet. I guess it's infected them, and it's and they've got glowy spots that you can shoot to explode and that sort of thing. Yes. So that sort of adds a new element. But yeah, you're right. I thought that it's sort of made you feel there's these huge big creatures, and you are this little person that you've sort of got to take the whole world on your shoulders and sort of defeat these things. And
don't you like it though? Don't you like it though? You are that small, but you do seem to have a lot of ammunition. And there's a lot of bullets to fire, and there's a lot of stuff to shoot, and it feels like there's a never-ending amount of stuff to shoot, and you would think that would become boring, but in Gears it just isn't. For some reason it isn't. It's quite satisfying when you're firing those bullets across the battlefield at these alien things, and things are going splatter everywhere. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is, and like too, I noticed that there's a lot of I couldn't say whether the environments are going to be, destructive or that sort of thing, but there are certainly elements in the, like fuel tanks and bits and pieces that you can use to your advantage to make more explosions and make more chaos and that sort of thing. And, I think too that the thing that I really enjoyed with the Gears series is, when you have to change a clip, instead of in a lot of games where they just snap the clip and boom, it's done. You've got your active reloads on the Gears series, so that if you hit the right bumper button when you're loading at the right time, boom, you're snapped in the clip and you're good to go. But if you get it wrong, it'll take longer to reload, and you hear Dom going, "Oh, damn it," or whatever. So, I think that adds a bit of authenticity. That that if you get that active reload right, boom, you stay in the action much quicker. Whereas if you get it wrong, things slow down. You're sort of fumbling, and so I think. I mean, at its core, the Gears games are good because they're loud, their action, and as you said, that carries through into the cutscenes, and it's very cinematic, and it's very, it's very cinematic. And I think that from what I've seen of Gears of War 3, it looks better than Gears of War 2. You know, although we haven't seen a good indication of what the rest of the game's going to look like, because something that really struck me with sort of Gears 2 and the other games is building architecture and the cities and the bits, and they were actually, good-looking, architecturally designed cities sort of things. So I'm whether this is going to fit in with, the time frame with story now, because, the world's been destroyed and that sort of thing, whether it fits in. But I think it looks good and it plays really well, and yeah, if it was out today, I'd be playing it now, but we've got to wait till September 20, I think, when it comes out.
September 20. Well, 20. Gerard, let's make a date around then to co-op play on Gears of War 3.
Oh yes, we'll just add two, because now you can do 4-player co-op.
Yeah, which is great.
Whereas 2 was 2-player co-op. So 4-player co-op is going to bring a new dimension to it too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That just means I've just got to find 2 more friends if I can.
It might be difficult.
Play 4-player.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that could be hard.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Just have to be me and you was to do 2-player.
Sounds good, Gerard. People can find your preview up at stuff.co.nz in the technology section of the Game Junkie blog right now, and more stuff, including podcasts, I noticed as well, over at Game Junkie 2.0. to search for that, and in Google you'll come up with it. Cheers, mate. See you next time.
Lots of stuff. Cheers, Wammo. Bye.